I call this meeting to order at 5:03. And no, today. British teach today, Plainfield Hideout and Central. We respect and acknowledge them as the original inhabitants of South Alaska. Bartlett Regional Hospital is located on the homelands of the Akwesasne. We are grateful to provide services in your ancestral homeland and to be a part of this community. And Anita, do you have everybody online? Do you have?
Dr. Hernandez. Jeannie Monk. Chris Letterman.
Present.
Dr. King.
Present online.
Max Mertz.
Online.
Lisa Peterson.
I'm here.
Al Wagner.
Present online.
Dr. Raster.
Here.
Jeff Johnston.
Here.
And also Dr. Todd. And I see Alicia online as well. So here.
Thank you all. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Raster.
Second,
Second.
do we have anyone? Don't see anyone in the room, but do we have anyone online that would like to participate from the public? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Dr. Esther,
Move to approve the consent agenda.
and I need a second.
Second.
First, thank you. Okay. New business, financial audit overview. Will that be Martin or Kevin or Max? Do you want to kick it off?
Sure, I'll do it. I'll do a quick introduction.
Thank you.
Our auditors are with us tonight. We have Kevin Smith, who is a partner with Eide Bailly, and Martin Yanoshev, who is the senior manager with Eide Bailly. We have Angela has been working with them very closely, Angela and her staff, over the last several months on the audit. They're very close, but not quite done with the audit, but far enough along here that we needed to have them come and present the audit so we can accept it and get it forwarded to the CBJ. We've had at Finance Committee 2 or 3 meetings with the auditors and have gone through everything in detail. And so they'll be presenting kind of at a more summary level for us tonight. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kevin. Kevin?
Yeah, thank you, Max, for that introduction, and we do thank you for noting that we did meet with the Finance Committee and a couple different occasions and went over the results of the audit. And so we will talk about a few things. We still are in the process of the review, and we'll hopefully finish that up soon and get this issued. One thing that I do want to mention, we know that Angela come in kind of right towards the end of the year and then jumped right into the audit. And we just appreciate, all the work that she did and her staff, everyone that worked with her. It's difficult when you come in and you don't have the history of the organization, but, whatever questions, documentation that we ask her, she and her team just jumped in and figured it out for us. So we appreciate that. And being a first year audit for us, there are more questions, than a kind of a typical audit. And so, we just kept digging and asking, questions, and they just responded very positively. So we appreciate that. And just a high level overview of your financial statements. I just want to comment, as I look through your financial statements, just a, really strong cash position. Your net position is very strong, and you had a good, revenue and expense from operations was positive, and as we go and, doing audits of the hospitals, that's very rare that we're seeing, positive, outcome on operations. And then, you just had a strong, change in net position, that goes to on your bottom line and strengthens your net position even more. And then, there were a couple of comments, that we had and that we will issue as far as what we refer to as, management letter. And Martin, I'll just let you kind of comment on those and kind of where we're at in that process.
Okay, sure. I can definitely take that. I think if we can go on maybe the last page of the financial statements, but I don't remember if the draft that we're looking at right now has the management letter comments and the finding, but essentially we have one finding on the financial statements. And I believe this version of the draft may actually not have that in the PDF file. But we have a finding on the financial statements and material weakness that has to do with the preparation of the financial statements and also the posting of a material entries during the audit process. And most of the material journal entries, the most material journal entry had to do with capital assets. And we had a number of other material journal entries, but most of the other material journal entries had to do with GASB 68 and GASB 75, which is something that essentially will happen every year. So basically, the major issue was with capital assets, and the issue being that there was a significant amount of capital assets last year at June 30th, 2024, that were listed as CIP that really should have been assets that were placed in service. I will just pause for a second and see if anybody has any questions on that.
I don't see any questions.
All right, and I can confirm that the version of this draft unfortunately doesn't have the finding. I know that I have sent a more recent version of the draft a couple of days ago that has the finding in it, but that is the main difference in the PDF file. Basically, the one that we have from a couple of days ago has the finding in it.
And any other questions or comments that you have regarding, the audit process, we're happy to address those. And I know Angela can address those also, but we're happy to address those.
Kevin, this is Max. Maybe if I could just chime in a little bit on the results of the audit this year. We knew moving to your firm that we would probably have some comments for improvement, both in internal controls and, the larger material weakness comments. And frankly, we welcome that. We're looking forward to resolving these issues, and it's good to get these issues out on the table. We have full confidence in Joe and in Angela and in their ability to resolve these issues going forward. And so we're looking at your audit as kind of a solid starting point, a good footing for us to be able to move forward. So.
Did everyone have a chance to take a look at the financial statements? I know there's a lot there. Okay. For those of you who are relatively new, these financial statements will be rolled up into the CDJ financial statements as a whole. So we have to, one of the tasks that has to happen is we finish our financial statement before CDJ is able to conclude theirs. So I don't know if there's any other questions about the process. Nope. Okay. Max, any other comments for
Nope.
Kevin or Martin?
No, we'll have some written responses from Joe and Angela at future meetings in terms of the work that they're doing to address the various issues. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you both for all the work that you've done coming in as our new auditor. We really appreciate the deep dive that you've taken and the amount of time that you spent with our staff and Angela, who we threw into the frying pan as soon as she got here. So it was a learning process for you all, but we really appreciate the work that you have done and Angela, you and your team have done. to get these financial statements done and to identify these issues that many of them were not a surprise, shouldn't be a surprise to the ongoing board members and certainly not for our staff. So thank you very much. Max, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Full business. Ms. McDowell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it's okay, I'll give the hospital capacity update and then also the home health and hospice as well. So for patient days, CCU had 60. MedSurg had 274. NHU has 243. We have a current census of 7. OB 52. OB newborn nursery 42. ED saw 892 patients last month. We currently have 7 people waiting for beds. 1 needs assisted living, 4 need long-term care, 1 needs a SAR placement, and 1 needs acute rehab. If there's no questions on that, I will go to home health and hospice.
Any questions on?
So the current census for home health or for November is 24, and hospice was 6, with the longest length of stay of 64. And then the financial, this is kind of a graph per this board's request. And Angela helped put that together to look at how the census is related to the billing on the bottom.
Any questions?
How's the staffing? And we were having a little trouble with staffing for home health and hospice. Okay, are things okay?
We're still having some challenges with staffing. We've had an unexpected employee have to go out unexpectedly. So we're working through that with HR. We have an interim director coming, so that will be helpful. We still have our consultant that's here, boots on the ground, that's helping navigate some of those challenges. We did fill the clinical manager role. So that is filled with a permanent staff member currently. And then Heather Richter is still helping remotely, and she'll actually be in town next month for about 2 weeks.
Because the blue graph, if I may, is going, is that our hospice? The blue line, is that because of staffing, you think that's going down, or just the ebbs and flows of?
I think it's the ebbs and flows. We're still seeing quite a bit of clients coming in or patients coming in really close to end of life. And so you're not seeing that length of stay. And so recently we had, I believe, 3 deaths. And so then that changes your census, of course, pretty dramatically.
Could you address that outlier there in the home health, that orange line? Is it just?
I would have to get back to you. My guess is that we did have, sometimes there's some challenges of somebody being on home health that maybe shouldn't be on home health and maybe needs a longer term solution like long-term care, and trying to get them transitioned to that and trying to try other mechanisms to see if they'll meet the goals that were set. So I'm assuming that's probably what that outlier was. We had one that was pretty significant, but I can make a note and check on that and get back to you if you'd like.
Any other questions for Ms. McDowell? Thank you. All right. Wildflower Court update.
Evening, everyone. So our average daily census in December did take a little bit of a dip at 50.97, and our occupancy rate was right around 80%. I'm actually anticipating even more of a dip in January, but it's expected. And we are starting to take some folks back this week, and next week we have them lined up to come back in. So we are starting that process of bringing folks back in slowly. Yeah. So, any questions related to the census?
Anything else to share? Great. The foundation update. Ms. McCormick.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
So the Bartlett party we had, the staff party was held on December 11th. We had Santa Claus, the Vox Carolers. We brought in a new photo booth person, which was really nice. He did a great job. We had Santa, and of course the cafe provided some great snacks and holiday cookies and cocoa. So we had a pretty good turnout for that. Our gift shop saw some modest improvement over the holiday season. We've started carrying a little bit more of some local flair and will continue to do so. The Alaska Fudge Company treats and Martha's Flowers little mini bouquets have been the first items that we've brought in that have been kind of local. We're looking at some other things now too, but we can't not keep the gummy bears in stock. I'm not sure what's going on with staff and chocolate gummy bears, but they are really loving those. I can't keep up on them. We do still have their Spearfish coffee in. Activity in January was quite a bit slower, but you know that was probably due to our weather conditions and our snow that we had. So I'm hoping that they'll start to get a little bit busier here this next month. Our scholarship spring disbursements, we collected all the student records, did their grade checks, and spring disbursements went out the first week of January in the amount of $18,000. We currently have 15 students that are continuing to receive funding for their education. By the end of 2025, our employee contributions have reached $710 per pay period. When I started, it was around $440. So we've got, you know, average in 2025 is about $480, and then we started increasing towards the end. So this represents an increase of $230 per pay period, or nearly 48%. So we hope to continue to maintain this trend. And we're going to be starting our payroll deduction enrollment drive here again in February. So we're hopefully going to continue on that. We have over, I believe, 900 employees. So we're really going to be pushing to get a little bit more of those employees to continue to donate. Fireweed Awards presented in January to the 4 honorees. We provided gift bags and gift cards to each of the recipients. We are excited to bring back the Baby Backs program this year. We've had a couple of meetings so far on what that entails and what that looks like for this year. So hopefully by this next month, I'll have a little bit more information to share on the baby boxes. The Q3 for education travel expenses for the ED and RN staff. We had about 10,976 that were unspent. So then we previously approved and partially pre-funded the activities totaling 13,055. And we reimbursed an additional 2,000 this last week for additional training costs. I believe there's another request coming through that I haven't gotten to yet, but that will be in addition to that. And then listed below is our foundation investment from January 1st through January 20th, totaling $20,437.09. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions for regarding the foundation? Thank you. It's exciting to hear that the baby boxes are back.
Yep.
And exciting to see the increase in employee contributions.
Yep.
Okay, there are no other questions. We'll move on to Dr. Totten.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Jody Totten. I'm one of your emergency department physicians. I'm the chief of staff for the year. As you probably know, Dr. David Brown of orthopedics has taken on the position of vice chief of staff as well. So this is my first meeting. Welcome. Here we go. Thank you very much. And my understanding for this component is I just mostly talk about the things on the consent agenda. Is that correct? And then we can discuss other things. So I'm happy to share details for the discussion. Nothing was contentious for the delineation of privileges for either pulmonary medicine, medical oncology, nurse practitioner changes. Does anybody have any questions for me? Would you like me to go through that in more detail?
I don't believe so. Is everyone familiar with the these items that were on the consent agenda? Since we don't have an action on
to vote because it's already been passed, so save everything else for the.
Okay, well, hear from more, a little later. Committee meeting updates. Are you frozen, Max?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't, you cut out just for a second there, Deb. I didn't hear you call me, so. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be frozen. So page 88 of the packet, is the, draft, committee, minutes from the January 9th meeting. And, it's pretty straightforward meeting of, going over financial results. We were also, dealing with, the auditors, and the reconciliation, which is on page, 91 of the packet of the previously issued financials to the audited financial statements and what those changes are due to. We did have some adjustments, as Martin, the auditor, touched on earlier. And a lot of that has to do with contractual updates related to wildfire court, some other adjustments related to the PERS and pension and OPEB liability balances and getting those booked, which are, items that get booked at the end of the year anyway. There was some issues that they had carrying over from prior years related to properly stating fixed assets and depreciation. So anyway, Angela prepared this good schedule on page 91 that, kind of outlines that. We went through that in some detail and with the auditors. And so that's about it.
Thank you. Normally we would have an action item to accept at this time, but we're still, there are still some tweaks to the final financial statements. So the board, we're not approving them. We are accepting them as having been received. That will happen at our next meeting when we have the final draft or the final copy of the financial statements. Any other question? Any questions for Max? Okay. Quality and compliance, sorry. Lisa. We're having a day. Quality and compliance, can you tell us about the quality and compliance? I don't think I went to the meeting. Yes.
Yes. You vouch for you.
I was.
We, okay, I'm gonna wing this, okay, because I wasn't prepared to present. So, we did the, CEO evaluation. No.
Yeah, and annual plans.
Annual plans.
Oh, annual plans, sorry. I'm baking it. I have.
The minutes are in the packet.
No, they're not.
Oh.
We have, Gail always knows what happens at quality and compliance. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Through the chair,
Yes.
thank you. At the quality meeting, we had the presentations of our annual plans and they're in the consent agenda. We approved the quality plan, the infection control plan, the utilization management plan, and the environment of care plan. So it's about 100 pages of plans that if you have any questions on, you're more than happy to ask any questions or reach out to me and I can answer any questions on this.
There's a lot of information packed into that meeting.
Yeah, there was, and I'm sorry that I fumbled on that. So thank you for listening.
Okay. All right. Committee of the whole update. Mr. Warner. Yeah. Everyone else is-
I just wanted to say, I appreciate everyone coming and being active participants in the meeting on Friday. I know it was a long day at the end, but I thought we accomplished quite a bit. I am still working on the takeaways I have to take next steps on the master facility plan and phasing and work on my strategic goals, and I hope to bring those back in future meeting. I'll work with Deb on coordinating next steps. Any questions from the meeting on Friday?
And any comment about, how that meeting went and any feedback for us? I know Anita has requested feedback, correct? So.
I would just.
You gentlemen are.
I will get you feedback, Anita. But I did want to just circling around to what you just said, Joe, catching those action items. What format will they come back to us?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together a kind of a phasing of what it would look like if you accept either of the plans, and then we'll talk through how we want to proceed with those.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious about the timeline. I mean, is this something we were going to move quickly on,
I'm
or?
gonna try to work quickly, so I'm gonna reach out to Mark Coughlin and work on the phasing of some of those pieces. The first piece I needed was the phasing of the ED project, because obviously we already have a big project that's gonna be started in the spring. And so, yeah.
Will there be more discussion at the planning committee meeting, or will there be more opportunity to talk about things?
Yeah, there'll be more opportunity. Yeah, yeah. That was we just barely got the tip of it. Yeah, lots more opportunity to discuss it.
So in general, the planning committee is the venue for us to discuss all the capital projects and the strategic plan. So you'll see, although we'll probably have or potentially have some ad hoc meetings, it's more committee of the whole, just because of the magnitude. But in general, the planning committee is the first stop for capital projects and strategic planning, and it has a financial impact, which of course, anything capital, financial impact, it will move on to the finance committee and then be referred to the full board for approval. Any other comments or questions about our last Friday's meeting? Okay. Oh, I think you're up again.
Feels like we just met since we did speak on Friday. So some of this will be kind of redundant. Kind of was a busy month. It feels like a million years ago since December with the two disasters we started the year with. We didn't have the pipe break and wildfire court. They are actively repairing the space at this point. So they were in there drywalling the last time I was in that. We are down 6 rooms. So when Deb presents her census next month, it'll be quite a bit lower, just being down those 6 rooms to start. The snow removal project went pretty well. I mean, I was kind of pulling our breath to see if we have any roof damage, as we had so many people up on top of our roof, but at this point, I don't know if we've identified any of those, but we have potential for some structural damage, wildfire court that the insurance companies looked at. So we're working through the insurance process now to see. In addition to, as I talked about wildfire court, we are looking at the insurance claim with that and maybe filing lost revenue claim, number of days, rooms for down, so we're trying to evaluate that back in the. Other big news of the month that we attended for health meeting, and so I know there's more information. We've tried to reach out to DOH to see if we get some one-on-one meetings. Being located, we feel like we should have access to it with open. We haven't heard back, and so we're still trying to put together our list of potential projects or initiatives that we'd like to move forward with. Work with some of the partners on that, and then hopefully try to bring that back to planning committee. Most likely that's gonna be to March, maybe, as we get that moving forward.
Dr. Astor?
Is it, so the rural health demonstration project, they've got a lot of 250 million. Is that what you just mentioned?
Yeah. 272.
272. So we've talked about, having access to care to especially smaller communities. Could we old Bartlett House into that expansion?
It's something we discussed with the DOH when they were here. New construction is prohibited, renovation is allowed, if it doesn't increase the value of the property. But there can be exceptions made by CMS. So they felt that kind of met some of their initiatives and they felt might be a potential to bring that forward and ask for an exemption.
Thank you.
That could be year two funding based on how fast construction happens.
Yeah.
Especially. You did mention rural demonstration, so we've talked about that over the last couple of months. That for the new board members, we were part of a rural community demonstration project through CMS, which allowed for a cost-based reimbursement from our inpatient Medicare patients. $2 million a year to Bartlett. We ran out our 5-year demonstration period on June 30th of last year. The program is technically authorized through 2028, but there's not another 5-year period for us to get into. So we've been trying to work with delegation to get that extended at this point. They did call yesterday, let us know that it was not in the package the House moved forward to the Senate. The delegation or Murkowski's healthcare person felt confident that CMS does have the authority to extend it on their own behalf. And when you read through the bill that the House passed, there is discretionary funding to HHS. So whether that's an avenue for us or not, but we'll keep pushing. In the past, this has taken up over a year, the last time I actually did this, so we are 6 months into this period. We are building done. We see it in the practice days. We'll continue to work with them. I've asked a follow-up meeting or face-to-face meetings with both Senator.
And I know you've mentioned it before, Joe, but there is a possibility if it's extended that we could get retro reimbursed.
Yeah. So we've fell out of this on 3 different occasions up to this point, and they've retroed on all 3 of those instances. So we're hopeful that they'll follow suit, but nothing's guaranteed to that. Moving down the list, we did open up Bishop Pediatrics this whole year. So that was kind of a fun process with all the snow days we started the year with as well. At this point, it's moving along smoothly. We're seeing patients, working through some of the bumps that happen through these transitions, but overall it seems to be going pretty good. Dr. Parker did join practice in the middle of the month. She came out here a week earlier than we anticipated, so that was great. So we were able to get her spun up and going. And she's working on getting her privileges in place. I know that me and Dr. Patton have additional conversations about that. So she's here. Other news in the clinic front, Dr. Butler, search position has joined our family medicine group. And so he will be joining us in mid-March, first day April. So that's great. And so he's Murray Butler, and he was down at just down the hill from here working for search. He's taken over joining Dr. Boss at location at this point. The other thing, you guys have all been told by the CBJ for the special meeting on the 25th of February. We had been scheduled to do a budget meeting, a full day Saturday in early April, late March. This will take place for that meeting. We will be doing our full budget presentation with the CBJ at that point. We were notified of this morning.
In the February meeting?
Yeah. So Angela's full steam ahead, getting the budget ready.
That's a lot earlier than you.
Yeah. That's about a month. Over a month earlier than typical, so. We're actively working on budgets. There are questions again. More to come.
Can we get an invite out for that meeting so we get on our calendar?
We're getting from the city clerk's office said she was gonna send a placeholder,
You know how long those usually go? It's pretty late, aren't they?
So it's us, CBJ and the airport, we both have 20-minute presentations. And then whatever questions the city asks. I think last year our total budget presentation was maybe half hour. I think they asked us 1 or 2 questions. I don't know what their airport has on their budget, but
Depends on the longer.
from my perspective, it's not all day Saturday. It's City Hall. Seems better.
Yeah. Definitely. And do we know, we have no idea where we're at. Who's up first?
No, they haven't decided yet.
No details.
Okay.
The email with some generalities in it.
And another budget matter, I'm just gonna, put a plug in. Those of you who are on the board, were forwarded, the questionnaire that CBJ has put out on, budget priorities with the loss of the sales tax income, a significant amount of the sales tax income. I would encourage everyone to respond if possible, just to get our, your individual, wishes known and help them prioritize. It sounds like they're doing pretty good. Last I heard, they're at, it looks like between 25 maybe and 30 of the percent of the eligible population. You have to be 15 years old or older, but the eligible population to respond here in Juneau. So that's a pretty good percentage. Anyway, if you have something you want to let them know, that's your opportunity. Oh, you have more?
Nope, it's an abbreviated report this month. I've spent a lot of time with each other, so. If there's any questions or any specific topics I can address for you, I'd be happy to.
Okay. Now, Ms. Hughes Candies. Did see you there. There you are.
Hi, good to see you all. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Apologies for not making the trek out there. We had a fair few hours of meetings last night, so sweatpants won out, and grateful for technology to be able to join you all this way. I think the biggest things to communicate from the assembly side for this board, Joe just referenced the joint meeting we will be having together. I mentioned the city budget and the emphasis on creation of the budget and the new revenue picture that we are dealing with. I think that focus will continue. So while I expect the Bartlett budget will be recognized as the vital service that it is, and not subject to certain kinds of the same scrutiny as other services within the borough, maybe get a couple more questions, but and yet expect it to still fall into that same category. That represents a large part of what the assembly has been working on. Design of typically our budget process. We don't get really into those weekly meetings, consistent meetings until the spring, until April. But we are scheduling more meetings and earlier meetings, like the one we will be having with you and some of the other enterprises. So preparation for that, and then of course everything else that you see in the headlines, Eagle Crest or whatever else. Also do want to plug that survey that's out now. It's fairly simplistic, but it really does help. I think response has been good so far, but encouraging people to take it and taking it yourself. And it's just good to have that data to back it up. Although, like I said, I'm not worried about Bartlett being recognized as the vital service that it is. The other thing I will say is that the Rural Health Transformation Project, I was glad that CBJ between Bartlett and city manager staff was well represented, had the opportunity to go to the state convening in a different function, wearing my day job hat, but would just say that the city is excited to work with you and support you on whatever projects emerge as making sense for Bartlett and the community. So please do let us know as those develop, how we can help and how we can go after these funds. Happy to answer any questions. Oh, sorry. One other thing. I do want to say that the audit, it's exciting. Echo Mr. Mertz, first year, that's great. Not super surprising to, hear some better methods of control, but I would expect some focus on that as well, as we've been getting our audit sort of house in order over the last couple of years.
Any questions for Ms. Hughes Combs? I don't see any. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
Okay. It's down to me. I'm going to echo what Joe has said. We've seen a lot of each other in the last few days, and before that, pretty much in the last month, pretty much all of us have been involved in some sort of hunkering down for snow removal or all of the things that have happened that have exhausted the folks that are here at Bartlett and the rest of us. So it's the beginning of the year, and they're the beginning of the calendar year, and hopefully we're off to a great start. And that's my report for today. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Well, as most of you know, you might, if you weren't here last month, our new board members had not been selected by the time we had the last board meeting. So we thought about postponing elections to this month. We ended up electing the president, but we still have to elect a vice president and secretary. So we need to complete our elections for the 2026 calendar year. I would entertain nominations. If there are none, I'll make a couple myself.
I move Deb for president.
I'm already there. Right now, I'd like to entertain motion or a nomination for the vice president.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate John Raster for vice president.
Any others that want to raise their hands? Is there any objection to John continuing his vice presidency for 2026? Seeing none, Dr. Raster.
Thank you.
And now we're at secretary. If there are no other nominations, I would like to nominate Hal Geiger to continue his tenure as the vice president, or sorry, as the secretary. Are there any objections?
That sounds great.
No objections? Al, another year for you as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have no objection.
All right. That completes our elections and we're flipping right along. Board calendar.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I see that we don't have the governance committee. Or I saw, I'm lost. I'm in a different place now. We don't have the governance committee meeting.
No,
on second.
Yeah, that's February 2nd at 8 a.m.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, planning committee. Planning committee, are we good?
I'm sorry, I would love to go to that meeting and if you wanted me to chair that meeting, which I'm happy to do, but there's a lot of flux in my life right now. My 94-year-old dad's in the hospital and I've got a big trip planned and so there's just a lot of moving parts. And so there's a very reasonable chance, very good chance I'll be here. So somebody else might have to take over for that meeting.
Chris and Jeannie, will you be available on that day or should we reschedule? I'm available.
Which day are we changing from?
The second.
No.
I'm sorry, the sixth, the sixth.
Just doing it. Yeah.
Keep doing it on the sixth.
Oh, I can do that.
Are we good? Okay. Is that all right with you, Dr.?
Yes, that's great. And then I'll be here for March 6th.
All right.
How frequently is quality meeting? Yeah. We usually meet bi-monthly. Okay. Unless we have something that we need to do. Okay. So next would be March. Thank you.
Okay. Max, is the 13th good for you still?
It works for me. Brent and Jeannie, does that work for you?
I'm unavailable that day, unfortunately.
Is there, how about the day before? Does the 12th work?
That whole week I'm in Canada, out of cell phone
Gotcha.
range.
How about the 17th?
I could do the 17th, but it would just have to be after work for me, so after 5. Couldn't
That's
do
fine
it.
with me. If we wanted to do 5 o'clock on the 17th, Jeannie, does that work for you?
That will work for me.
Okay, let's just do that.
Could we make it 5:15 just so I can make it to the
Yeah.
meeting from my office? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Angela, did you have a comment?
Yes, and thank you. Max, we have to submit our budget to the city on the 18th.
Angela, I can't, you're kind of breaking up for me. I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
We have to submit our budget to the city on the 18th.
Oh, great. So the 17th is plenty of time then.
It'll be in advance of a board meeting.
We have in the past, I believe we did it last year. We had basically a joint board meeting, finance committee meeting where we completed the review of the budget in the finance committee. It was a virtual meeting for the board with a single topic. So if that works for the group, I would recommend we do that again. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, that sounds great to me, assuming that works with everybody's schedule and we can get a quorum together.
You want to do them back to back, or do you want to do the approval of the budget on the 18th? So
No. Let's do it all on the 17th, Joe. I'd
Okay.
suggest we do, why don't we just do a combined finance and joint board and we will do the budget first and get that approved, and then we can cover the other topics of the finance committee once that's done. If that works for you, Deb.
That works for me. That definitely works. Is anyone else that,
So that's on, you're talking about on the 17th, 5:15 p.m.
yes, so we'll start out in the joint meeting, going through the budget with the finance committee and the full board available to approve, and then those who, the board members who want to drop off for discussion of other items on the finance committee agenda can do so. 17th, the evening of the early evening 17th.
Angela, if we could get the packet, since we were going to have the meeting on the 13th, if we could get the packet by the 11th of February, is that possible? Give everybody a chance to really get through it and have questions ready for the 17th?
I will do my utmost best.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other, we're not going to change the board meeting, I'm assuming, so it looks like we determined the calendar. We've read the calendar, right? And I entertain a motion to approve the calendar as amended.
Move to approve the calendar as amended, even though I'm not here.
Second. Dorothy, I'm sorry. I heard a voice. That's all, yeah, you do. All right. Board comments, questions?
Hey, Deb.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just reiterate again how good I thought that session, the planning session was last week. I thought, Joe and the two, Mark and Tom, did a great job, and all the staff, and really appreciate it. But a special shout out to the kitchen for doing such a great job for our food. I greatly appreciated.
Thanks, Matt. I am in total agreement. It's some of the best that we've had at our retreats, so that's what I'm pleased. All right. Let's take I entertain a motion to move into executive session, and when we roll into executive session, let's take a 5 or 10 minute break. Let's come back at 5 after 6. So.
Would you like a motion now?
Yes, I will.
Okay, I move the Board of Directors of Bartlett Regional Hospital recess into executive session to discuss several matters, those which by law, municipal charter, or ordinance are required to be confidential or involve consideration of records that are not subject to the public disclosure, specifically the credentialing report, medical staff meeting minutes, patient safety dashboards, and legal updates. And I suggest that you allow anyone else to stay in the room if you see fit.
Okay, so senior leadership, please stay. Dr. Totten, please stay. You have a part in this as well. The rest of the folks, including and Anita, gets to stay for 2 months. The rest of the folks, you may either stay in a waiting room or thank you very much for your participation tonight. We have a second. You're up now out of executive session.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the credentialing report.
I second.
Thank you. All right, is there anything else for the good of the order? Seeing nothing, our next meeting is February 24th here at 5 o'clock. And we are adjourned.
2 minutes.